We are headed off on a time-honored British adventure. A weekend in Southend.
Otherwise known as the Dirty Weekend. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. In this video we'll explore the county of Essex, the history, its landscapes, cultural significance, and maybe even squeeze in some karaoke, although no promises.
Looks like we've got a hitchhiker, gotta get rid of him.
Welcome to The Right Life. We're Catherine and Edward, a married couple based in London with a passion for travel and experiencing the world together. On our channel, we share our adventures from uncovering hidden gems to learning about new cultures and discovering amazing historical sites. Join us as we explore the world.
Are you up for a walk?
Yeah, hopefully my shoes are gonna be okay.
We'll see.
Our first stop, about 6 miles west of Southend, was Hadley Castle. This castle was built in the 13th century by Hubert de Burgh, a powerful royal advisor and military commander. It was later owned by the Earls of Warwick and added and improved to over the centuries. It's now ruined and luckily entrance is free.
Whew. Tell me about it. It's steamy.
I like the thing they're doing on the BBC now, they say it's 25 degrees but it feels like 28.
It's like in the States.
Who feels that? Is there some guy sitting there going, feels like 28 today?
Well, they always do that in the States.
Do they?
Yeah, so want to tell us about Hadley Castle? Hadley Castle?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
no,
me.
It's a favourite resident of King Henry III. No.
Edward
I know
III?
it's the favourite resident of King Edward III. Smasher of the Scots. 1215, King John gave this area of land to Hubert de Burgh, Earl of Kent, his chief minister and trusted ally. Hubert commissioned the building of a large turreted castle. In 1239 he was forced to return Hadley to the crown after he had quarrelled with King Henry III. 100 years later, King of England began to use the castle as a royal residence. It was surrounded by parkland, ideal for hunting, and provided a welcome retreat from London. It's only an hour away by car.
So like 3 days.
No, probably a day's ride.
There's actually some graffiti in the window. The remains here are what would have been the actual house itself, but because the ground is so soft, it came down on its own.
So we've since discovered that he wouldn't think the cultural idea. Basically, that's the Thames estuary up there. So that way's into London, and that's out to the North Sea. So.
And this structure that we're standing in right now would have actually been the royal residence. And it's not so big. Hadley Castle is one of the reasons why I love the UK so much. This was actually free, even though we do have our annual, I think this is English Heritage and National Trust memberships. You can come here, you could have a picnic, fantastic view that way, and just sit here among 13th century ruins of a castle. Places like this all over the UK. Although I think the view from this one is particularly pretty, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's stunning.
It's really quite amazing.
And the weather helps as well, doesn't it?
The weather really helps because, you know, obviously everywhere you go, the better the weather, the better the trip. But the UK is particularly at its best when we get these beautiful days. Just imagine if you were coming up from the North Sea, from the Thames, in order to conquer England, the first thing you would run into would be this imposing castle behind me, make you think twice whether or not you actually wanted to invade. Or, several centuries later, this was a playground of the kings and queens of England, because actually if you just came up the Thames, it would have only been an hour or two on barge, just like it would be today. And then in no time, you're out of the city, you're in this beautiful land, and you can go hunting until you kill all of the deer.
Next, we stopped off at the local museum in Chelmsford. The museum houses a collection of over 8,000 objects that reflect the history and culture of the city and its surrounding areas. The collection includes objects related to the Roman settlement of the city, like this beer vessel, Saxon burial goods, and this Victorian-era kitchen. After the Peasants' Revolt in 1381, Chelmsford even became the capital of England for 6 days. We were surprised to learn that Marconi developed his wireless telegraph in Chelmsford, and this was the type of system that was used on the Titanic. Eventually, the city became the center for early BBC TV production. Despite all this, Charles Dickens called Chelmsford the dullest and most stupid spot on the face of the earth. We don't agree. Next, we headed to Leigh-on-Sea. It's another coastal town known for its Victorian architecture and its thriving arts and culture scene. At this point, it was time for a pint and a spot of lunch. We visited the Osborne Brothers Cafe for some food.
Cockles, crayfish, and oysters. Does this make you happy?
It'll make you happy.
Oh yeah. Did it work for you?
It's good.
And then headed up the road for a pint in the Peterboat, a traditional pub, which does have estuary views. However, we weren't lucky enough to get one of those tables.
It's ginormous. Oh, I can smell the beach now. There's the tide coming in.
Southend-on-Sea boasts a variety of tourist attractions, including amusement arcades, fishing charters, restaurants, and a lively seafront with a sandy beach.
You accidentally book a sea view room. Not so shabby. For a Premier Inn.
No trip would be complete without winning a Rodney Trotter bobblehead. Unfortunately, they're all out of Del Boys.
But who knows, maybe this time next year we'll be millionaires. Southend has an array of pubs with cheap beer, good tunes, and fantastic karaoke. I never did say that we'd be the ones singing.
Southend is known for its famous pier, which has become the main symbol of the town. It's the longest in the world and extends 1.34 miles into the sea.
It cost £2 or £3 to go on the pier, which we would have done. However, it was so hot and sunny out, and there's absolutely no shade, so it seemed a little bit miserable.
Yeah, there is. You'd be up chucking constantly. Is that what we're doing next?
So the best fish and chips you've ever had?
I don't know. Probably went big.
We ended the night at the Hope and decided to leave when a dancing man knocked over our table and sent our pints flying. However, we did make a quick stop for a kebab. Our final stop in Essex was Malden. This is a historic market town located in the Blackwater estuary, which sounds very Game of Thrones. It is known for its centuries-old Malden salt, which is harvested by hand using traditional methods.
This is well hidden.
Yeah. That one sign.
Yeah, and it's facing, you can't even see it from that other direction, can you?
We headed down to Hythe Quay for a seafood lunch at the Jolly Sailor, a 15th century pub overlooking the estuary. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. There are more adventures to come.
You like a ruin, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you're married to a ruin, don't you?
You say that every time.